Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of the All Guns No Glory podcast. We are playing the Pathfinder Revised Edition, or at least for the players, of Pathfinder's 2nd edition, Outlaws of AlkenStar. And when last we left the party, we had discovered sabotage. Really? You can't dun 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 when you're
Dun, 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 dun.
I got two mats, and they both did it at the end of the last episode, and I cue them up, and I get that's fine. That's fine. Guys, suspicions run high, where the crew seem to be doing their own quiet, investigation or whatever, and they're all looking at you guys sideways, like the crew suddenly doesn't trust anybody, right? But if they're all keeping away from you and watching the ship and not allowing anyone practically go anywhere, what would you guys want to do next?
The engine rooms were locked or not locked?
Were during the time of, and you asked somebody this, or are you just talking about like, let's head down to the engine room and see if we can get into one?
No, I would ask someone, either Lucky, or I'd prefer Lucky.
Okay. Let's put everybody in the main area, shall we? For now, unless anyone is insistent on hanging out somewhere. Assuming everybody is together. Maybe discussing our own.
I would like to declare that Styx has a giant roll of rope just hanging onto his shoulder right now.
Okay.
I don't know if I've even had any real encounter with Styx yet, so I think that Pilo would kind of be looking over at him like, you've been hanging out with us, but I don't really think I've even really talked to you yet. I'm Pilo.
That's rather rude, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm Pilo. That's who you are.
I didn't mean to call you out on it, but yeah, you kind of do dick.
Well, it's just the honest truth. I'm just trying to say here, like, you got a cool bundle of rope and you're standing around with us, and like, I kind of want to know who you are, because I'd just like to know who you are.
Dude. Jay, give yourself a hero point. I've never seen anybody crack Drew up like that before. That's got to be a milestone. He's been working with us for 3 years, and I don't think I've ever seen him almost fall out of his chair like that. It's got to be, you only get one, But yeah, give yourself a hero point for that. Actually, you all get hero points because it's time to re-up them, but Jay, you're at 2 because there is above and beyond the call of RP. But this is a fun game, and I used to give these out for like really good jokes or whatever, but now I'm looking for things that really just don't happen every game, and to see you guys having so much fun with each other without me necessarily like spitting out the jokes and cracking you guys all up consistently, it's really brings me joy, hero point joy. So there you go. Sorry, yes, Spiegler. You've had 3 years working with this dude, and you've never cracked him up. I got Jay for 3 episodes. Pop his cherry after. All right. Sorry. So getting back to the investigation, conspiracy theory, or are we all just going to have lunch and let other people handle this problem?
I mean, I was literally just hired. I was gonna try to help, but no one wants me to, so.
No, I wasn't trying to say don't help. I kind of like more helpers. I was just trying to say, hello, how you doing? I'm Pilo.
There's a good chance that this will not be the last of the sabotage, and if we want to get to our destination on time, we should probably figure this out.
Well, one thing I can recall is that when that fight was going on, there was a couple goblins who wanted to all go up into Ballista, but they were supposed to go to the engine room too, so I sent one of them down there. It's maybe that goblin did it. One was a boy, one was a girl. It was the boy goblin. He was the one who I sent down to the engine room.
Are we gonna know which one's the boy? I'm not looking.
You're suggesting the engineer tanked his own job?
He didn't want to go up to the darn ballista, so maybe he's like, I'm not good at this. If I do it bad, they won't send me again. Mr.
At the
Skyville.
very least, he would know what happened and or have been in the room, potentially.
Yeah, you want to talk to your little buddy there?
We better go check on him. And I'm going to run towards that back door.
Okay.
I know
First he accuses him, but no, Pilo technically is the one guy that knows the goblins best, and off he goes. Sure.
With Matt,
You guys gonna go with Pilo, or like gonna Pilo? You to like handle this on your own.
I'll go with Pilo.
But Matt's
Yeah.
already been down there and saw the damage, right? But I didn't know that, so I'll just.
Oh no, Matt was like hanging off the back deck, just looking for anything that's wrong, and he saw the propeller isn't turning. To get to the actual engine room, you need to go the way you went, where you were in the guts of.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to get all up in them guts.
Got it.
I would also like to go see the engine if it's at all possible.
Not to mention getting caught wandering around the internal of the ship probably makes you guys look very sus.
I'll pull out my champion's badge and kind of pin it on myself just to make it look like I'm an official of some sort.
Nice.
This town ain't big enough for two sheriffs.
This is a blimp.
That wasn't hero point, Troy, but that was damn close. I'll tell you that, man. That was good. Very good. All right, so Sheriff Pilo and his deputy, El Mandriel, head off to interrogate a goblin, which they assume is going to be in the engine room. So if you guys go up and in and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, you find that the door to said ladder is currently locked.
This wasn't locked when I got here beforehand, so when that guy went down, so.
It's probably a precaution the crew is taking. It's not a bad idea considering.
Yeah, but if it's already damaged, obviously they didn't. Was it damaged before or after the locked?
Well, one would assume before they lock the door.
Okay, but then who locked the door? Let's go find somebody who works here. We can get in there, see what's going on.
Let's just try this. And El Manubrio knocks on the door.
Okay. Pause there. Was it Charwin that was talking, that wanted to talk to Lucky Lynx?
Yeah.
Or was that Okay, so these two have gone off to shake down some goblins, right?
Mhm.
They disappear, and you mention Lucky, and he didn't, and now he, appears like he's our porter, so he's usually roaming the halls, doing his duties, goes to the bridge, serves us drinks, that kind of thing, or is making beds, or like whatever he's doing, right? He's the everywhere guy, right?
Yep.
How many levels of your archetype do you have?
I think it's just 2.
Okay. I will give you a +2 bonus for a tower roll of any skill you choose to think like your secret archetype. A logical deduction. Any skill you want.
All right. Try diplomacy.
Okay. If you wanted to gain access to anywhere on the ship, you would want to butter up the guy who has all the keys to everywhere, the steward of the ship. Now, the crew probably all have keys, but there's only one guy who's constantly roaming the ship between stations, and that's Lucky. So maybe you really do want to talk to this guy, either to gain access or possibly something else.
Okay.
But anyway, there he is. Now's your chance. You go and stop him somewhere. Hey, man, kind of thing.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going, Lucky? Couple questions for you.
I'm really busy right now. I'm sorry. The dinner's at 7.
Well, could you just so the engines? It's a real big problem. Do you happen to know if those are locked normally?
What, the engine room?
Yeah.
Well, usually the internal, like the crew areas are usually off limits to guests. but we're not going to like lock the bridge door during a battle or the engine rooms, that kind of thing, right? But, certain areas are restricted and, that kind of thing. But still, after that battle, he says, everyone was pretty shaken up. Somebody might have forgot to lock the doors. I mean, I was really shaken up.
Oh, yeah.
I hate to admit it, but he says, I made the rounds, but I was so worried about everyone. I wasn't thinking about locked doors. I might have left something open. He says, Captain's already figured that one out and really reamed me. So I'm kind of working double duty. So if you really don't mind, I already got shit for that one.
No, I'm so sorry to hear that. Well,
Okay.
you just let me know if you ever need a door locked.
Yeah, sure. He looks at you. Anyway, and even like pads down the hall and looks over his shoulder at you once and then keeps going. Can I have a perception in the tower, please? And I'll even give you that +2 again. Thinking like that certain someone you are. He's being honest, answering a question, and diverting the focus of your question. So either he honestly gave you a straight answer and even told you something that you shouldn't know. Yeah, my bad. Please don't say anything, though the captain already gave me shit, so it's kind of common knowledge about me and the keys. Or he's covering tracks, which basically places him once again in this is the guy I need to suck up to get access everywhere for my investigation, or is lucky with your 30, prick, a suspect. Is this guy has access to everywhere.
Okay.
But who would have motive? Right?
It's true.
Too early in the investigation. Who would have motive? Getting back to knocking on the door. Oh, sorry. Valentine and Styx. You guys laying low? Playing conspiracy theory? Playing canasta? What's your angle on this? What are you guys up to?
Well, Styx did want to actually go to the engine, but you kind of left without me, so
You can go down there, see how they're making out. You can go down there. You could say I joined those guys. It's no problem. Yeah. Put you in line.
I was gonna say the same thing. I wanted to
Yeah.
check out the
Engine room. There we go. Stack you guys in the hallway. Right. They got there first, but these guys come out of the doorway and just join you. It takes a while in Mumbrio, and maybe because the rest of your companions could come around to the same conclusion or just want to see how you make out and are now blocking the hallway, it kind of sticks you here for a while, but it does pay off because Pilo, not you, knows that beyond this door is not an engine room. Beyond this door is an access way to a large, structure inside, whatever, and it would take a while for anyone to hear you, or they really need to be moving around in the ship and come close to this area before they'd be like, what the hell's that banging? But sure enough, a goblin opens the door and peers out at the four of you. What?
Oh, hello. Took you quite some time to answer the door. Could we possibly
Wasn't standing on the other side of it.
Could we possibly be of assistance? We have some questions we would like to ask regarding the sabotage.
Like what?
Philo signals Philo over.
Oh, well, just thought I had sent you down there, and the battle all started, and then all of a sudden the ship started kind of going a different direction, and one of the engines wasn't working, so logically concluded that it must have been you or someone who hurt you. Are you okay?
Did he hit his head? Like the battle was hours before we started listing and the engine stopped.
Oh, man.
Did you hear the GM segue? Pretty sure there was a time differential.
Time just kind of passes weird, man. I was left under a pile for I don't know how long.
Unless you're suggesting that somebody set up the chain like dangling to like drop into the engine room when they had access after something. No, I'm not that smart.
I'm not really sure, my friend. I'm just trying to think of ideas that could happen, and you're the last one to know who went down here for sure. So
We usually keep this place locked up pretty tight so no one wanders, gets hurt, hurts themselves, or messes with the second kiss. But I will say this. She says, since, you got her to win on the ballista fight argument, my brother isn't forgetful. He's a dweeb, but she looks down and up the ladder so he can't hear. He knows his job. Somebody would really have to have access to keys and know the ship to know how to easily sabotage it. I mean, it looks like a rookie job. You throw something metal in the gearworks and hope for the best. But where'd they get the chain? And there's stuff missing from the storeroom. We took inventory. Wanted to know where the chain came from, and there's stuff missing out of the storeroom, and it's always locked up. So somebody would have to have a key, or somebody stole a key. She says really dramatically loudly. No, it's just like if there's anybody in that hallway listening, they probably hear her. Somebody probably stole a key.
What was missing from the storeroom?
it could have been your brother.
Aside
Chain
from the chain.
and some tools. Some hand tools.
What could those tools be used for? Anything
Fixing stuff. Fixing stuff.
Or could they be used for breaking stuff? Like, are we going to worry about more stuff breaking while we're here?
Oh, you mean like dismantling stuff?
Well, yeah.
I guess.
Okay. Mr. Manubrio, what do you think?
Oh, I like that, Mr. Manubrio. That's good. I like that.
I think that something is afoot. Perhaps we should speak to the captain and see if we could set up some sort of guard rotation to make sure there's no one doing anything untoward.
I don't think that's a bad idea. Maybe we should talk to the captain about this. Does the captain even know this went on yet? Like, Miss Goblin. The captain's been aware. Did they give any advice or any orders?
Yeah, we're to keep an eye on you guys, and we're supposed to stay at our station so this type of thing doesn't stay again. So, I was on my way. The goblins are now grounded to the interior of the ship. Their job now is to walk those catwalks and keep an eye on both engine rooms and keep this door locked. But you guys pounded so much, she just got annoyed, went, what? And then Matt, very cleverly, plays the Pylo card. Here's somebody you know and maybe trust. Well done. So she's having a conversation in the doorway. She's not letting you in. And she's standing in the doorway, but tells you what she thinks and what she knows. And
I'm picturing a big door and El Manubrio's little hand tapping on it, and it's just clunk, 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 like the loudest sound.
I just held onto the handle and tippy-tappied with my feet.
Yeah. He starts meowing. Trust me, this will work. Meow, 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 meow.
Thank you so much. Don't let us keep you from your duties. Let's go talk to the captain.
Slams the door and you distinctly hear it locked. Okay. Meanwhile, Charwin. You talked to the dude and he got all confused and miffed and left. What do you want to do?
I was also thinking about possibly talking to the captain just to verify his story that he was in trouble or potentially leaving a door unlocked. Because my other thought is maybe he doesn't have the key on him anymore. He kind of scuttled away.
I will happily crowd the engine room the bridge with all you guys. It seems our investigation has overlapped. That's fine. I thought it was interesting that you guys might have split up for a couple, cover more ground kind of thing. But as it's only so many people to talk to, et cetera, et cetera. So, cutscene to the bridge. A broad viewport at the front of this control room provides a commanding view of the skies ahead. The center of the room sports a large metal wheel, a series of levers, and various gauges and dials set into a metal panel. Several metal tubes emerge from the forward control, yada yada. We have heard this before a couple episodes back, but now you guys can all do it without meta. But just to be clear for the audience, as I zoom in here on the bridge. Okay. There's a cot so that someone can sort of like sleep here and get some Z's, and then if like there's a bump in the night, they're literally at the wheel, right? But the wheel on the left steers certain ailerons, like sort of like a height up and down and bellows, where the main wheel at the front with the chair is sort of your flying in a left, right, that kind of thing. And then the other chair is more of a navigation and certain gauges that they're reading, pressures and velocities and barometer and everything. I mean, if you look at the picture of the ship, there's like a giant barometer dial, like the size of a car wheel, stuck on the top of the ship. I don't know who could see that from within inside the ship, but it's there. Anyway, you find Barrow Winslow at the helm. Her second opens the door, asks what you want. We want to speak with the captain. She says, why? You guys, because we're the party, we're the players, we're allowed to, okay, we let you in.
Because we're the players and
yeah.
what?
No. This is not something where you have to diplomacy your way in, like they're, get back to where, that kind of thing. It's like, it's been a couple hours. You guys are here en masse. We need to talk to the captain. It's urgent. Well, duh. There was a, so she's like, let him in. I'll hear him out. Like,
Mon Capitan. It is a shame that the journey has been fraught with such peril so far. I was wondering if we could perhaps be of assistance so this sort of thing does not happen again. As you are aware, we are trying to get to our destination as quickly as we can.
I'm listening.
Well, I was thinking perhaps we could aid in the guarding of some key areas and perhaps do a little investigating of our own.
Okay. You boys have experience in this type of thing?
But I have a certain set of skills.
No one's missing. He says, I don't have a daughter. I don't have
absolutely nothing to do with guarding or investigating. But my friends here kind of looks behind him, like does the encouraging
Happen
the out guys.
Yeah.
happen on that.
Yeah, I was talking to Lucky, and he was kind of mentioning that you laid into him for possibly leaving a door open. Did that really happen?
Yeah. I might have been a little hard on the goblins and Lanks, but, they're the ones that were closest to the crime scene. They didn't spot anything suspicious. None of you or the other passengers. Now, that doesn't get you boys off my hit list. I mean, you ones hired me to come all the way out here. It's kind of confusing that you guys might suddenly sabotage your own flight. So, you're really down on my suspect list, but she looks you guys in the don't fuck with me category of sideways and says, but doesn't mean you're off of it.
Do you think someone was trying to take us out of the air or simply slow us down?
Well, sabotaging an engine certainly puts us off course, delayed, and, it would only be a matter of time, food, water, and creatures out here. Like if we're stuck out here, we're as good as dead. We need to get going. Repairs are still in the works and we're making progress, but we've suffered like several hours of delay.
Who could possibly want to slow us down? And then I look out the window, raise a little fist. Mugland.
Do you know if any of your crew used to work for Mugland or Lovelace?
No.
Specifically, one of the crew who has lots of keys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go on.
She pulls back her coat and she's got a key ring covered in keys on her belt.
Yeah, but do you have ties to Mugland as well?
He's suggesting Muglin has keys?
No, we're suggesting that whoever has ties to Mugland on this ship and has keys might want to slow us down.
Well, considering Muglin never came up in your conversation of why you wanted to hire me, Secret Role Knowledge Society, why the fuck not? I've heard of him. And yeah, I wouldn't, throw it past you that Loveless is a bitch and probably crooked, but do I vet my crew? Of course I do. Do I know their past from birth? No, I don't. That said, when you guys were running around the city looking for passengers to fill my crew, how far and wide did you go? Did you guys just hang your lures out? If you're outlaws and enemies of those two, and they have the law on their side, what kind of advertising did you guys do to get people? Like, blah, blah, blah. But it never came up your outlaws, so scratch I said that. There's a whole bunch of meta going on in this bridge.
I was going to say, we went everywhere. We told everyone.
You talk to Pilo long enough and everyone gains his reasoning, starting with the NPCs, so you players beware. We're all starting to think like Pilo.
Fortunately for us, we did not have to stray far from the shipyard. Although there was that young man who we did tell about. It seemed very interested and ran into town trying to find the funds.
Well, in all my years of captaining, I would find it unlikely that you picked up a secret Muglin agent unless you went outside of Pilot Square. If you guys ran across the whole side of the city and advertised what you wanted, then yeah, your enemies might have heard of it. But if you stay contained within Pilot Square, I would say it's very unlikely that you picked up some kind of double agent or maybe a couple of people posing as another couple of people that the GM never got to use because he asked you like 4 times how far you go and we never left Pilot Square. Now, I'm not saying that someone here doesn't work for Muglin. I'm not saying that someone doesn't have motive and et cetera, et cetera. But it sounds like you guys didn't get too careless in your advertising campaign and give the bad guys a leg up and an advantage where they could plant somebody on my ship. As much fun as that would have been for the story, I think that's very unlikely.
Oh, by the way, no matter. Right, so, again, we would just like to help to make sure that this journey goes as smoothly as possible. So please, put us to work. We can help.
Find proof. Don't confront my crew and keep them from their duties. That will just slow down our journey. Don't harass the passengers. They've paid up front and I don't want everybody getting off the ship ruining my reputation that you harassed 5 out of 6 people and, oh, sorry, you weren't the murderer, you weren't the sabot. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys got to be tactful about this, right? Look for proof, hard evidence.
Captain.
Do you give us access to other rooms in order to look for the proof? Because apparently the sabotage happened in the engine room, but we can't get in there.
She looks at Dukes and Dukes nods and says, we'll tell the crew. You guys can have the run of the ship. But we're also watching you guys, right? You guys suddenly go to, the four of you went here and go, aha! All right.
Sweet.
Yep.
So what do you guys want to do? Well, let's leave the captain to her business. She seems busy. Head
Before
back.
that, you all happen to know Mugland?
He's talking to you guys, not the NPCs.
Wouldn't
We
say
don't know shit.
know 'em.
El Manubrio turns back to the window, shakes his fist. Mugland.
Know of him and Loveless, sure. Know of them. I'm not confirming anything.
I hate to keep metaing, but usually the backgrounds, you either hate one or the other and suspect that they may or may not be working in tandem, but we have no proof of that. But usually your background will point to one or the other, that Mugland or Loveless. Or
Mine
one
points
high
to
or the other.
both. I just picked Mugland.
Oh, did it? Oh, does it? Okay, well, no,
Yeah, it
okay.
does.
No, okay, if it points to both, then like I said, then my one works for the other kind of thing. Okay.
But yes, let's take this discussion to the bar.
Bar? We want to go somewhere where everyone can hear us talking? Or are we all going to talk and one person's watching? I like how you think, Mr. Manubrio.
A 100 spy movies where they emerge into a train car and you guys start falling up the middle and your eyes shift left and right looking at every passenger, and because you're a huge group, everyone's looking at you like you're sus and you're looking at them going, why are they looking at us, right? Kind of thing. So you guys make your way through the main car.
I make a perception check as we're walking past the passengers, looking at their hands and their.
Does anybody look nervous? Yeah, let's do the scan
Any
as we
grease
go
marks,
through.
like grease marks from the chain.
What is that? That'd probably be perception, correct?
Mr. Sticks, can I ask you a question? Why do you have a big thing of rope on your shoulder?
Oh, I still have that. I noticed the engine cut out and I decided I would go try to bypass the force of it to try to get it running again, but I went to go get rope, and the time I went back up to the top to swing myself down to the engine, or down to the propeller, I was told to not. So now I have rope.
Oh, okay. That's a good excuse. Do you know magics? Because if you know magic, you don't have to worry about taking time to get rope. And I cast Inside Guts. You can just use yourself as rope. Look at this stuff. It's just everywhere. You start pulling it all out. It just comes in from you and then goes back inside and away you go. Something for the future. You might want to learn that. Anyway, let's go to the bar.
Every time I see those come out, someone eats them. I'd rather keep them in.
Well, mine just disappear if you try to eat them. You can't damage them in any way. They're not real guts. I'm a skeleton, man. I got no guts. But the magic guts, you might
The
want to...
confusion is growing.
There's a scream. He's attacking that poor man, and there's Pilo throwing his gun their arm. You guys, the knoll with their rope is hurting that poor robed, covered up, strange-looking man.
sorry.
Oh,
down.
Philo, not
I am
again.
actually also going to take a distance from the main group here because they randomly mentioned Mugland. Dude's talking about pulling his intestines out of a skeleton.
Where are you going? Pilo's chasing you down the hall.
They're just
Throwing
pretending.
guts.
No,
Yes, Matt. They all look nervous. The entire room looks very nervous.
Seems legit.
Yeah. Despite our theatrics, though, okay, you're a passenger. Innocent or not, you're nervous that you're not going to get to your destination. You know that landing in this desert is a death sentence. Everybody looks nervous. And what if they think it's me and I'm innocent? Everyone is on edge. Right? Now you guys are Gestapoing up and down. Papers, guts. They're all free at this point.
Well, we haven't
Freaking out.
started that yet.
Come on, man. Valentine's got his laser eye going up and down the walls and shit. Two guys one got rope, one got guts, Charwin's making drinks.
To be honest,
We're looking for
I
Sean
wouldn't mind.
putting a newspaper upside down on the ship, trying to hide.
Rather than addressing the Mugland thing, which I definitely do want to get back to, because it's very strange that everyone also. Anyways, I'd prefer to go check the engines and find out if they're going to be able to get that going again. Because if not, maybe I can make a bypass. At least get us going in the right direction.
You know an awful lot about engines, don't you?
Suspicion.
I was
that
just
a
about to
sword?
tell Jay that it's like, unless you're some kind of ship expert, they appreciate that your help, and everyone's a craftsman, but they'll say no. But yeah, that was good, pilot.
I mean, I'm not talking about fixing the engine of the ship. I'm talking about attaching a power source directly to the propeller. Get it going.
I understand what none of that means, but I believe you're being honest, so I will take that as face value. Thank you for telling us.
Okay. So do you guys want to approach the engine room and demand to modify the engine?
I don't want to touch the engine.
No, I know, but you're basically talking about, Millennium Falconing this stuff.
Basically,
Oh,
tie a
better,
rocket
faster.
to one of the
Yeah.
fins of the propeller.
I
You know?
planned on going and asking them how long it's going to take before they can get it up and running normally.
They've been granted you access. So you guys go down. They show you the engine room, right? So without having to move a bunch of minis, okay, I will ping. You guys get there. She squawked through the pipes to let you guys have a look, So if you guys come down the ladder here, and then these two square boxes are the engineering rooms, and this is where they'll fix propellers, bang out parts, type of thing, keep an eye on stuff. And then the actual engine room is here. And as you can see, there's a catwalk all the way around, and sort of set into a bed is a massive clockwork mechanism, springs and whatever. It's very complicated. And someone tossed a chain in it, and it just ground and wound. It's like getting too much thread around your vacuum cleaner roller. And this bitch to just dig it out. It's just time consuming, and Anyway, you get down there, and they have the engine shut off, and they've removed gears, and some of them are chipped, and they're checking gears, and they're replacing them, and blah 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 blah. And they tell you it's going to take about an hour, more if you guys keep bugging us. Do you want to? No. Can you? No. And you get a distinct amount of pride from the goblins, and I'll even hand wave a perception check that if you were caught mucking outside with the propeller or whatever, what was it Spiegler was talking about? Falling to the ground in parachutes and all that crap? Toss. Don't mess with the captain's baby. Yeah. You guys are supposed to be investigating something, not fixing the ship. We will fix the ship. You guys go investigate the culprit.
Absolutely. Are there any signs or clues here?
Perception in the tower. Now we're poking around. Yeah. You guys showed up. You guys can have the sniff around. It is obvious that the goblins have contaminated the crime scene. They have an engine in pieces on the floor. You guys are all huddled around, and they're like, "Don't touch that! Don't step on anything." And you guys poke around, looking for the note, the scarf, the thread that's caught in the works, like all those little signs that there's a piece of carpet. It was him. I know what you're going for, Matt, but it's like, everyone's looking at everybody else. No.
Nothing. Okay.
Two goblins, a bunch of grease, and gears, and okay.
Where would somebody get a chain like that, though? Maybe the engine room?
The goblin told us it came from the storeroom.
How long has a goblin been in this room?
There's always a goblin.
They're both in here working on the engine.
No, but since the combat, has any of the goblins left this room?
Yeah, because they also run around. Like the goblins area is all your gray hatched area. So both engines, both engineering room, the entire catwalk to the front, they check bellows and stuff. Like you don't see the goblins really wandering around the guest rooms and stuff. These guys are always in the interior of the ship, checking on things and keeping things running smoothly.
So if anyone at all came through here,
They'd have to sneak around the goblins. But not terribly hard if like one's in an adjacent engine or like one got all the way to the front of the ship or the two of them got into another argument as they're doing right now. They seem distracted, you know. As long as they weren't physically near this one engine room, the way these two act and say that all the things they have to do wouldn't be terribly hard to like, you know. Sorry.
could I do a crafting check to try to guess like how much time would it take to do this much damage?
You would go to said storeroom. You would smuggle a chain into these access ways. You'd slip past the goblins, toss into engine room, get back out, and go whatever their exit strategy was. Because there are multiple ladders, multiple ways in and out of here, right?
Can I do a survival check to see if I recognize like anything that shouldn't belong there? I'm not trained in survival, but just give it a shot.
No, yeah. If you want to try something other than perception, yeah. Something's out of place or...
Footprints or markings or something that...
Yeah.
At the tower.
Nope.
So.
Now, again, you guys are... I wouldn't say you're in alien terrain. I mean, people live in AlkenStar are exposed to all kinds of workshops and gears and... You know what I mean? It's like, if you live in Toronto, you are used to buildings and concrete. If you guys live in AlkenStar, you're used to mechanisms like the one in front of you, though you haven't really been an expert or really into airships and stuff, but you know what I mean? It's not like you're such an alien territory. That said, no, really.
Perhaps we should speak to the passengers and let these guys get to work.
I think that we just... Yeah, it gets us going faster, that's for sure. You think we should talk to them all as a big group and like scare them, or maybe just like a couple of us go to a couple of different ones? Mr. Sticks, are you staying with us, or are you like interrogating stuff? Or we're not really sure. Like, are you part of a party, right? Like hanging out with us? 'Cause, like I know you're a passenger, but you're also like with us. So like, you helping?
I mean, I was trying to actively help, but I see how it is.
No, it's just... I thought people didn't fill me in, man. I was away from this room for so long. I just want to make sure everything is copacetic. Like, you're a paying customer, and I want to make sure you're enjoying your flight. You don't have to help. There's no obligations.
It's really hard to read a... Go ahead.
I was just laying into him, like,
Well, you gotta imagine like a skeleton has no facial expressions, right? So all we're going from is the voice. You know what I mean? Like Troy could probably like kill his camera, and all you got is that voice, right?
I have to imagine it's just a subtle racial thing, maybe. You got a knoll with the guy full of bones.
Yeah, everyone is anti-Knoll until second edition, and Jay's approaching every situation with the "what do you mean, you people?" kind of approach. Seems to have that chip on his shoulder, What do you mean?
It's also, to be fair, it's also specifically him. He's just a pile of bones, kind of chewy.
Oh yeah, no. Kudos on the role play for like maybe having your own prejudices and not, liking someone in the party. Everyone's that's cool.
Or maybe likes him too much. That was racial. I'm sorry.
What? Profiling.
That kind of weird tension, His eyes lingering on the rib cage a little.
Sexual or subsual? Not sure which one it is. Scrumptual Ted.
Licks his lips a lot when he talks to you.
Note to self: leave pause in. I was telling Troy about editing and how I turn it silent, so don't worry about like dead air and stuff. Because in the podcast edition, I can have the edit turn everything down to about 1.85 seconds, so there is an awkward silence. And the first thing he said, kudos to Troy, is, what about comedy timing? Does that blow any comedic things where there is a comedic pause? I said sometimes, but I usually catch them. Or somebody's first comment is still enough to keep the joke. But, just for Troy, note to self, keep pause in at 44 minutes and 22. All right. Yeah, and edit my explanation. This has been a really meta session. I'm sorry, once in a while.
Super meta, but it's fun.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah, well,
what do you guys want to do now?
I mean, like, we probably should take some time and search the catwalk area for any clues. What are these little rooms that are here? Are they like cubicle rooms?
This here, the engineering rooms?
Yeah. Like, do they have a roof on them? 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm
they're
assuming
like,
this is like
inside the ship.
Yeah, but I'm assuming it's like a big blimp, right?
Well, what's above you is only X amount of feet until there's interior scaffolding and metal and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Right. They would use as much space as possible to fill air bladders. So I'm thinking like it's like being squished in between like giant marshmallows worth of But anyway,
I will climb up into the scaffolding and search from up there. Maybe get a bit of a different perspective.
Yeah. Being tiny, I guess you could wiggle and such.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea.
Yeah.
I will apply my archetype because I am a gymnast.
Archetype, wiggle and such.
Yeah, wiggle and such.
Acrobatics, please.
Oh,
These open.
7.
I was gonna say natural one, and you get stuck. You get stuck.
7 for a total of 20.
Stalling the investigation. Okay, he gets up in there and disappears. What are you guys doing?
Jarwin would like to see if we can access the other engine room just to make sure that there's not something already sabotaging.
Yep. Now at this point, one of the goblins is trailing you in case you have any questions and sort of to keep an eye on you too.
Yep.
But just as much to be helpful to answer any questions you have, as well as keeping an eye on you guys.
I mean, it's nice for somebody to check just so that they can't say anything afterwards.
Yeah.
And which goblin is the male goblin around?
Yeah. No, he's following you.
Can you tell the difference, Troy?
Probably.
Just asking.
I'd be like, no, I remember talking with you and your brother earlier, and I just wanted to tell you that I'm sorry I made you go to the engine room. I know you wanted to fight the ballista, but I've remembered, and now I know next time you are the one that gets to fire the ballista. There we are.
Oh, no. It's all good, man. One of us has to keep an eye on you. The other one has to do an hour's worth of stupid work. I won this round, so I'm good. Lead on, McDuff.
Hello, but thank you very much.
And I'm just going to search for any clues
Okay.
through the scaffolding and whatnot.
All right.
I will cast detect magic to kind of walk with my buddies and keep rocking it up to see if anything, not just the engines and stuff.
Okay. Could you roll percentage dice out in the open?
Me?
Yep.
Which is the percentage dice?
The last one on the end, it looks like a 10-sided, but it's got 2 digits on every face instead of 1.
Okay, it picks up 2 dice when you pick it up. I see.
Yep.
That is 56.
Luckily for you, there is no, shall we say, mana waste shenanigans going on close to the ship at this particular time where you cast a spell and it could be horribly go wrongish or warped. Remember all that weird... Oh, I guess you didn't see all that weird stuff. Yeah. Purple lightning and all that type of thing. Anyway, you cast a spell and everyone goes... The goblin's like, what are you doing? Are you nuts? Everyone holds their breath, but you don't take any magic.
Okay. Should I not be doing the spells, guys?
We're in the middle of the mana wastes, you fool. It's very dangerous.
No more spells. 10-4, got it.
Can
I mean,
you
it's not like the
taste
GM.
purple.
Taste the rainbow.
And not rainbow, it's a purple right now.
Yeah. Yeah. What the prejudiced Noel said. What's wrong with you? Anyway, so as Menembrio makes his way through the woodworking or the metalworking of the ship, front to back kind of thing, you guys gonna wait for him or just kind of go front to back on your own?
Like I said, I want to go check one of the storage room that they've said they found things missing from.
That is on the next deck down up here.
Wait for Manubrio.
Okay.
Off I
Well,
go.
like I said, if you guys want to sort
Yeah,
of go,
take some time while I'm in the scaffolding and search the catwalk and stuff like that.
yeah, like you're technically headed that way, right? Because there's more ladders up there. If you guys notice, like if you stay up here, there's a ladder exit at the other end of the ship, right? You come right down and poof, it's right next to the storeroom. So, unless technically he's not part of our party, if you want to go solo, you can shimmy down and go off on your own. But that could be as helpful to the party as sus, since you broke off on your own.
They want to suspect me. They suspect me, but I was a paying customer.
Yeah, but it was DM gold, so I'm not gonna let you use that as cover. What are your top 3 magical items, Jay? Let's lose one of those in lieu of payment, and then we'll talk.
The only magical item that counts is the one I'm using right now.
Your charm?
Crafter's eyepiece.
Okay. Oh, cool. You got like a monocle? Oh, that's awesome. Like a Monopoly board Noel with a top hat and the whole bit. That's awesome. Okay. Your search is interesting, Mr. Manubrio, but not very fruitful.
Okay.
And you guys eventually meet up at the ladder, and before you guys have run of said storeroom, Styx has gone off on his own and gone down there and gets to the storeroom first while you guys are almost there. Styx, storeroom. Locked.
We're gonna have to find that dude. What's his name?
Captain told the crew to give you guys access, did
Yes.
not give you a key.
Oh, I know. I just assumed there'd be at least, like, someone watching them. I guess I have to go find a crew.
Sure. You want to wander down the hall and look around and see if you can find somebody?
No, I'll just turn around and tell everyone, hey, we need someone to get a key.
Okay.
Jarwin, weren't you talking to, what's his name, Lucky earlier? He has all the keys, no?
Wait, there's a guy that has all the keys?
He goes everywhere.
Including the captain, who flashed a giant keyring. And she also said that all the crew have keys. Every crew member has a keyring that will take them anywhere on the ship, so that you could tell anybody, go to this room and get this.
Oh.
Right? The crew has full access to the ship. You guys do not. Everyone's got the mega keyring, just so we're clear.
No.
I thought that was implied when the captain said, yeah, we all have keys.
It might actually, guys, if we're thinking, you said the captain has keys and this lucky guy has keys and everybody has keys. Maybe we should find who doesn't have keys, who works on the ship.
Yeah, if anyone's missing their keys.
Yeah.
Darwin puts his hand down.
So crazy, it just might work.
That would, if a key was stolen, that would tell you who the key was stolen from, but perhaps not who actually stole the key.
Well, no, but it would also we'd also then ask that person, where have you gone? Who have you talked to?
When was the last time you saw your keys, right?
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
to mention that would imply that it was probably a passenger. Because why would the crew steal keys if they've all got keys?
Okay.
And if all crew has keys, then crew might be suspect.
So that is a good place to start.
Okay. Well,
I like the
the,
cut of your jib.
the captain and the first mate are in the bridge. The 2 goblins are in the engine room and in these Jeffrey tubes, you know what I mean? And the 2 main decks you've got Lucky Lanks wandering around looking to the needs of the crew, the actual passengers, because he's the steward, right? So he's bedrooms and crew rooms and food and all that kind of thing. So pick a crew member. Who do you want to go track down and ask about keys, or what do you guys want to do? Did I miss anybody?
We should probably try our best to make it so they can't, or so that the crew doesn't cross our paths, like bouncing back and forth. Perhaps we should start from the engine area.
I think that's a good idea. I can go with that. We go back down to the goblins.
Did I find anything in the engine room, by the way?
Nope.
The other one.
Mm-mm. Nothing out of place or whatever. They've, there's
No
stuff
chain.
for repairs. No, there's spare parts, but it's not a storeroom of other things like ropes and chains and that type of thing. So you'd find like a cap for the propeller, or the gears that they're currently swapping out, or that they could go to a bench and bang out a gear and try to fix it. That kind of thing, right? It's an engineering room where they can modify parts and whatever, right?
Oh,
The
no,
probably-
I was gonna go into the engine for the propeller. To
Oh,
see
the
if
other
it was
side?
Sabotaged. Yeah, I wanted to see if it was sabotaged or not.
Oh yeah, you would have done that. Goblin would have went with you guys, and maybe that would burn some time for us while Mr. Manubrio was up in the rafters or whatever. But anyway, he takes a key, he unlocks that engine room, and it's been fine since the last time they checked on it. And we go and look, and dun dun dun, it's fine.
The storeroom?
No, the engine room. I had to go back in time for Charwin here.
Oh.
So going back in time, the other engine nacelle is running fine, and we have checked it.
So we know that goblin has his key.
Well, another thing I'm asking, if we want to go back down and talk to the goblins, we can ask them if we can borrow their keys. See how easy these guys just give them away. Because we'll need a
Sure.
key following us everywhere, so start with them and just go from that.
Okay. You want to schmooze a goblin out of his key?
Or just can ask nicely, not even schmoozing. Just say, hey, can we just borrow the keys? We're investigating. The captain said it was all right.
Did you have him say, give me a diplomacy roll? Because you're asking nicely, you're diplomacy. Or if you just straight up go, can I have a key? And they don't go, they'd be like, no, I need them.
I'm asking nicely. I'm going to tell him what the captain
You got a door you want me to open? I can open a door for you.
Well, if you're not going to let us borrow the keys, then yeah, could you come help us? It'd just be a lot easier if we were just able to take them enough to come get you every time.
We should be trying to ask the sister for this.
Well, it's the goblins that came up with the theory of the storeroom and mentioned to you going, there's shit missing out of the storeroom. Chains and hand tools. And now you're like, so, hey, give me your keys. They're like, The saboteur went into a locked room. I am not giving anyone my keys because that could be, the captain, he gave his keys. He's,
I will just turn to my friends and be like, see, look at that. This guy didn't give him away easily. So obviously they run a tight ship, so to speak. So maybe can you come unlock the storeroom for us?
Sure.
Okay.
Actually, why don't you just get Lucky to do it? He's up there. We got engines to fix. If you guys are going to the storeroom, I will tag Lucky in. I'll go back to work. Thank you for the half-hour vacation, but I got to go help my sister. Anyway, so he takes you as far as that other door and says, find Lucky. He's roaming around, because that's what the guy does. He literally roams around 2 decks. It's not that hard to find. So the goblin will escort you as far as, Captain, I took them as, lock the door behind them. They're out of our territory. They're Lucky's problem. Anyway, we will call him for you because they have the pipes. Lucky, go start, blah, 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 or something. Hey, guys are on the second deck. They want to talk to you, right? That kind of thing. So anyway, you guys go down there, and Lucky comes up the stairwell from the galley where he's making dinner or whatever, and pops out the game room door and looks around. Something I can do for you, fellas? Dinner's not till 7. I told you that. Mm-hmm. Why are you all
We
staring
need
at me
access.
blankly?
We need access to the storeroom where things were taken from.
Didn't the goblins just tell you that? They said that. Oh man.
No, I just said you guys were looking for me on the second deck.
Did you unlock this door?
Yeah, sure. Sorry, it's not the end door. The end door is the crew cabin. The second door down on the right, this one here, is the actual storage room. Yeah, sure. Anyway, he unlocks it, opens the door, steps back, and waits because obviously he will lock it when you guys are done. And now he knows he's on duty to keep an eye on you guys so you don't do anything weird.
How organized is this storeroom?
Not bad.
Like
I'd say they just did
if you
inventory.
opened the door, could you immediately find the tools that were taken? And the chain?
Are you asking Lucky or are you asking the DM?
I'm looking into the room and trying to make that
Okay.
judgment myself.
Okay, so peek in the room, perception in the tower. No. Somebody would have to be familiar with the storeroom and probably be ordered by the captain to go check everything. We have a saboteur, and somebody checked the storeroom, probably the goblins, because they're the ones that said something was missing. And they went through the storeroom and they went, hey, chains are missing. Or, hey, isn't that a chain like the regular ones that we have in the storeroom when we're anchoring the ship or whatever? And they go and they, you know what I mean? It's like they're familiar with the ship and its parts. So they went, yeah, this is like one of our chains from the storeroom. And they go check the storeroom and they search around the storeroom. And not only do they find that chain missing, though we found it stuck in the engine, they noticed some hand tools are missing, which still are. And they told you about it.
Cool. So
Right,
the
but you-
implication
but-
there is that if some random person stole keys and walked in here, they wouldn't immediately be able to like, oh, I need that tool and I need that chain.
No, but if they had an idea in mind and knew or hoped the storeroom had stuff in it, they could search it and find what they wanted within the proverbial 20-minute D20. Give it enough time, someone could, you know what I mean? It's kind of the same scenario. Now, I think I know what you're going for here. Someone couldn't quickly grab it unless they knew what they're looking for, which I'm assuming makes whoever you're theorizing more suspect. But it is still possible for someone to walk into anyone's garage and go, it's a garage. Look around, how does this guy have things organized, figure out his logic, and grab something within 5 minutes. Or in D&D rules, I do a thorough search for what I want, take 20 minutes, and aha, perfect, you know.
Yeah, I just figure with how smooth apparently that upper floor they had to have moved to get through the engines.
Well, the storeroom is on the same level as both entrance ladders to said engine room. So whether they came from here and ran right to the engine room or came here and stashed the chain for a little while, right? But then again, you're also risking, you get a bigger time delay, but you're also risking, like, why are you clanking when you move around? Right? Like, it's a big
want to,
chain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
These definitely
One-
feel like we're starting to get past the KISS rule there.
Yeah.
We want to see if we can find those missing hand tools.
Yeah, so
That
what
could point
tools
us-
would be missing?
The
Who are you asking?
specific hand tools. What are they?
The goblin didn't say, he just said a pile of hand tools. So, you
Yeah.
know, hammers, screwdrivers, and shit.
Yeah. Okay.
The type of thing that you could probably jimmy a door, wedge a lock, or make small repairs, or, as the goblins implied, maybe disassemble something quickly. Future attempts. You know, here's the easy way. Here's a chain. And I get some hand tools in case I have to do other shit later. Like, I don't know, disassemble a wheel from the bridge and toss it over the side. Now you fuckers can't steer. Muglin for the win. You're like,
Now
Well,
it
the
sounded
advantage to
like
kind of knowing generally what kind of tools were taken is we can potentially look to see if anyone happens to have those tools on their person.
Apologies, I don't mean to make fun of you. In the module says hand tools, which I'm assuming is your tool case: screwdrivers, pliers, hammer, nails, anything you can literally wield in a hand without power. Right? Basic carpentry shit. Saw. Right. And nothing really big. Things that you could conceal on your person, like a small weapon. Nothing bigger than a dagger or a short sword.
Well, maybe we should start checking, check the crew's cabin, and then
Okay.
check the passengers' cabins too. See if we can find the tools.
Also, well, we have Lucky. Can I ask Lucky to potentially direct us to the rest of the crew that we haven't talked to yet?
Okay. Yeah. So you guys done in the storeroom? I'll lock it up and let you guys move on, or take you to where you want to go.
Yep. What other crew members are there aside from the goblins, Lucky, the first mate?
So you've got first mate is Drake's, captain is the captain, Lucky is the steward, and there's the two goblins, and that's it.
So there's no who. So does Lucky do all the cooking?
Yeah, he's the steward. He looks after the room, so he's basically food and laundry and waiter.
Okay.
That's why he's always puttering around these two decks with his cart, right?
Okay.
Does he have his
The
cart?
captain had her.
Right now, no.
No.
No, because he was told you guys are looking for him. It's like, right? The cart is for serving food and shit, right? So
Yeah, but there's, like how those carts have they've got the tablecloth over top that drapes down.
yeah,
Good place to hide stuff in.
yeah. Well, so far you've seen he's got a cart for serving food, like an airline stewardess on the deck below us. It would make sense that he may have a cart, like a laundry cart, to do housekeeping up here where all the bedrooms are. Actually, because this is a storeroom, you probably see that cart sitting in a corner. It's the laundry cart. He's not using it right now because he's not doing the rooms, but he's got a cart that he runs up, because you don't want to take the cart up and downstairs. It's a pain in the ass, right? So he's got a cart for this level. He runs around doing laundry and shit, and he's got a cart for the kitchen and galley and runs around
That's
down
fair.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. The actual galley kitchen where they make food or whatever, they probably have something that's not on the map where they could dumb waiter stuff.
Well, I think we should sweep the rooms to see if we can
Okay.
locate the missing tools.
Okay. So on to the next room.
Mhm.
All right. Where are we going? Up, down, across? You're here. Do you want to go up a room? Do you want to go down a room? Or do you want to just go across the hall and start going
Yeah,
down?
we'll go up a room and then we'll come back across the hall and then we'll just kind of go back and forth all the way down.
Scooby
Okay.
do it.
All right. So you guys pile into this room and everybody want to do the big search?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay. Can I have
In the tower?
20-minute? Yep. Perception in the tower, boys. Lucky is out in the hall here. Just kind of watching you guys. Styx and Valentine. You guys are, everyone's, tossing beds. And anyway, this room is the actual crew cabin. Half dozen simple cots line the walls of this communal sleeping quarters, which dates from the days when Winslow's ship boasted over a dozen crew. Right? Now she's like running a skeleton crew because there's like a whole bunch of beds in here where crew could sleep. She just doesn't have a full crew. Right? Okay. So you guys are flipping mattresses and looking in boot lockers and cabinets and stuff. And as it just so happens, because you got the same roll, you guys circle the room and are coming up on the proverbial whatever bed, and you've got Styx on one end and Valentine on the other, and then they both move to the same cot and flip it, and there's a bunch of hand tools stashed under a crew cabin cot. And you hear Lucky hiss and look pissed and swear.
And whose cot is this?
Where is Lucky right now? I would say I would move.
In the doorway. sees
Right,
that you
right.
find evidence, and he looks pissed off, and he curses and swears at you guys. And there's Mambriel going, "Whose cot is this?" "Doesn't matter," he says as he pulls a short sword from under his leather apron.
Ooh.
And those perception rolls will be initiative when we see you all
Oh
next time.
no!
You gonna get us some beef roast with that knife? Ooh.